Hello, so today we're going to take a look at the Taurus TX22. This is a 22 caliber pistol made by Taurus that's fairly new. It's a pretty nice pistol. It's got the 16 round mags, which I had done a video that shows how to convert a 10 round mag into a 16 round mag. You can see that in the videos. So the ergonomics on this is really nice. They did a really good job. You can't change the back straps, but it's definitely a nice feeling grip to it. It's got a little bit of a bump thing there. I'm not a fan of that, but other than that, it feels good. It's got the safety that you can actually rack the slide with the safety on. It disables the trigger. So it's striker fire. So it's a typical, like you would find a Glock. It's almost identical to a Glock in most ways. Kind of a Glock 19 size. But 22 caliber, of course. The gun's weight. We'll get to the basics of that. So it weighs 16 out, well, with the magazine unloaded. It weighs 17.5 ounces unloaded. And then the trigger pull on it is, if I can get this, 3.9 pounds, almost 4 pounds, which is a pretty light trigger. It feels really good, the trigger. So there's the let off, and then there's the reset. So it's the reset's really close. So that's a nice reset, nice feel to the trigger. It doesn't have the Glock style safety on it, but it is nice. It's got the regular style safety. So the mags, they're pretty cheap to get them. They're like $30 a mag, something like that you can find, $25, $30 a mag. So it depends on where you find them. The 16 rounds are hard to find right now. But the nice thing too with the safety is you can still rack the slide, which that's kind of a nice feature if you're looking to chamber around but still be safe so it doesn't accidentally fire. You can rack the slide with the safety on. The sights are the typical 3-dot sights, which, you know, they're okay. Like I've said before, I'm not a big fan on 3-dots. I prefer other styles like the Heine or the Glock style, but it works fine. If you like 3-dot sights, you'll like those. So there's no inserts on this. The slide serrations, it's got the nice front serrations and the rear serrations. The port on this is a kind of small. That's one thing that I would have to say I didn't like, but you know, when something gets stuck in there, it's hard to reach in there. But other than that, it's fine. So let's take it out to the range and see how it does. This is the Taurus TX22 with the 16 round mag. This is a few mags that I've put through it, and it seems like when it's loaded all the way up with 16 rounds, it has some issues with feeding. So I have had a few that worked with the full 16 rounds, but it seems like the way they're loaded into the mag, sometimes they don't fire correctly. So I'm going to try another mag here. This time we'll put like 10 rounds into it and see how it fires. It seems like it hangs up on the first couple rounds. But yeah, it seems like only when you do it on the full 16 that it has the problem. So I've loaded up another mag for the Taurus TX22. It seems a little fussy on how it loads, but we'll try this one again and see if it cycles them fine. So out at the range, we did have some problems with it, and I found out that it was how I was loading the magazines. Because after I did some shooting, I was kind of in a rush to clean up because there were other people that wanted to use the range. So I put away all the video gear and then I fired off some more rounds. But when I first loaded them, what I was doing with the magazines is, you can see there's these little finger groove things that you would pull and load them in. And that's what I was doing. I was just pulling it down, loading it in. And the problem with that is they don't sit very good. As you can see, they don't sit in there very well. So, and that was the problem that I ran into, because when I did it like that, I had all kinds of feed problems like I'm having here with the dummy rounds. But what I did is, this comes with a little feeder. So if you take your time and you use that to load them in, it puts them in nicely and it eliminates the feed problem. Because I fired 3 more mags doing that and they all fed nicely. Sorry about that. It's not ejecting because they're not real rounds. I'm not firing it, but firing it with the mag loaded using this, or doing it very slowly, one at a time, like just pushing it down and back. If you do it like that, it fires no problem. I had no problems with function. It didn't have any hiccups for 3 more mags that I had fired just to make sure that it fired. So that's something to keep in mind if you do get it. How you load the mags is going to affect the reliability. But other than that, it fired fine after I found out that problem. So, and that was the first time taking it out, so you just got to be aware of that. Now the other things is the accuracy was pretty good at 25 yards or 20 yards. I think I had the target set at. You got groupings that was like 4 or 5 inches. So, you know, if you look at the mat here, that's 4 inches. So you could get 4 or 5 inch groupings. So that's pretty good for the accuracy at 20 yards. The recoil, it's nothing because it was a 22. So then let's see how it comes apart. So it comes apart like a typical Glock. So you've got the little, instead of having the two side things, you've got this thing on the bottom that you pull down, and then you pull the trigger, and then it comes. Come on. Pull that down, pull the trigger, and then the slide goes forward. I didn't have it pulled down enough. So it's similar to a Glock. This just comes down, and the slide comes off, and then the barrel and the spring comes out just like a Glock would. So putting it back together, you may want to notice it's got little notches. So it's a little different than a Glock for that. You can't just slide it on like that, like you would do a Glock. Those notches you put over the little wings that come out. So you just put it over that, and then there you go. Sometimes it gets caught up on the spring, and then it just goes together like a typical Glock at that point. So that's about all that I have to say for things. I think it covered everything. I do like the gun. It's definitely got a nice feel to it, and when you load the mags right, it does work flawless. You just got to make sure that you do that. But other than that, yeah, it's a great little 22 caliber gun. I got it pretty cheap. This one was $310, I think I paid for it. $310, $320. So definitely for the cost, it's just as nice as the Glock 22 or any of the other 22s, and it works fine. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and you have a good night.